Yes,
when you had when you had the decimal place in between the 3 zeros.
Yep.
When you added the 0 on the end, is that 0 insignificant?
No, that 0 becomes significant. So let's rewrite that number. Let's see, it was 3040.00560. This 0 is now significant because it follows a decimal place in non-zero digits. Okay? How are we doing? All right. Anybody need to stand up and stretch or get a drink of water for a minute? Because your head's going round and round and round. No? Okay. Yes?
For the two-part rule, if there's like a 0 on the right side of the decimal, and you said for it to be significant, it has to follow the decimal in a significant digit.
Mm-hmm. Well, non-zero digit, yes.
Or non-zero digit.
Yep. Yep.
Does that non-zero digit have to be on the right side of the
Doesn't matter which side of the decimal place it's on.
Okay.
As long as your 0 is both to the right of a decimal place and a non-zero digit, that 0 is going to be significant. Okay?
So what if it was 0.1? That would be
0.1. That 0 is not significant.
okay.
It doesn't follow a decimal place or a non-zero digit. It's not between two significant digits. It's also a leading 0. Okay? Sometimes leading zeros are insignificant or is easier to remember than to try to figure out whether you fit the two formal rules. Okay? That's why I gave it to you.
0.01 with the 0 behind decimal place would be significant?
Say again, this is the number? Okay? Neither one of these zeros are significant. Right? The shortcut rule is that they're leading zeros. They're not significant. Okay? I can go through the two formal rules and show that none of the zeros fit, but it's a little faster to remember. In this case, leading zeros are not significant. Okay? That makes sense? So leading zeros are not significant. Trailing zeros are not significant if there's no decimal place. Because you can use both shortcut rules all the time. Okay, but they're not they're used the way it's usually stated in the textbook. I kind of like them myself. But, all right. Anything else you want to throw at me, or any other questions? Y'all got the significant zeros down now to an art? Now say that again. If I take the 304 off of this, all right. So let's write that number. I'm going to take the 304 off of this, and I have 0.00560. Now I only have 3 significant digits. These are all leading zeros, so they're not significant. If you apply the two formal rules, none of these zeros fit the formal rules for being significant. Okay? This 0 over here, though, is significant because it follows a non-zero digit and the decimal place. Does that make sense? Okay? Yes?
On the 1 to 3040001 up at the top.
This?
Yeah, well, the other one.
This one?
Beside it, yeah.
Okay.
You put like .125.
Okay, hold on. 3040, let's see, 00560. Now I'm going to put a decimal place and some other numbers,
And like some significant digits behind it,
such as,
like 125.
okay,
Does 0 be significant?
all the zeros are significant now. Because all the zeros are between significant digits because non-zero digits are significant. You with me so far? Everybody okay? All right. So that we're just adding complexity to this a little bit. We're trying to add understanding, and after we do this a while, it becomes kind of second nature. It's not that big a deal. Okay, hopefully you'll remember it, but it's important that you focus hard on it now, because later in the semester, if you haven't focused hard on it now, you'll be making mistakes and losing points on your math when you don't need to. Okay, if you do it, it's like, practicing the right way. Anybody here involved in organized sports of any kind? You might have heard this before. I used to use it coaching lower levels. I'd say if perfect practice makes perfect performance. You ever heard that before? Something like that? Okay. And what that means is if you practice the right way every time, then in a game or a competition, that's the way you're going to do it because you're used to doing it that way. You trained your brain to do it that way. Well, the same thing is true here. If you practice hard with this now, then when we're doing the more complex problems later, it's old nature. It's just part of the way you think. You don't have to worry about it so much. Does that make sense? Okay? So let's try to keep that in mind, that perfect practice makes perfect performance. Okay? Any other questions before I move on to something else? All right, wow. We spent a lot of time on that. Put the date stamp on this real quick and then we'll move on. We're out of here. What time? 1:15? Okay, we don't have a whole lot of time. So, go home. Did I hear someone say that? Really? All right. Oh, I need to stop capturing.